And for more on what these results mean moving forward, we bring in our political analyst, Joe Heim, to talk more about that. Thanks for being here, Joe.
My pleasure.
All right, Joe, so probably not a ton of surprises here, but what does this mean going forward for Clinton and Trump specifically?
Boy, that's a tough one. It looks like the prognosticators are all saying that this means Trump is well on his way, that Hillary is well on her way, because they both won. I've got them down for 6 or 7 states each one so far. There's still a couple that are out yet. However, one of the things about Trump is his margins have narrowed a lot compared to the polls of a couple weeks ago. And I see that maybe, and by the way, Cruz picked up a couple of victories tonight, and possibly Rubio in our native state, native state, next door neighbor state. It tells me that maybe there's more contest to come with that side, in other words, with the Republicans.
Okay. Is there any way or any momentum that either Cruz or Sanders can get to pull ahead of Clinton or Trump at this point?
Well, I think Sanders is playing the long game. He picks out states that he thinks he can do better in. He's a liberal. He's very liberal. He picks out states that have a lot of university people, a lot of suburban Democrats, young people, basically. He's kind of playing that. He's playing for the long game. This was not his night. Even though he did fairly well at a few places, it was not his night, basically. Trump, basically, this was a lot of southern states. He effectively beat Cruz in his own hometown, his home territory, except for Texas, obviously. So in some respects, those are the two people that are going to come out as winners. Trump, obviously, is going to continue down the path towards the nomination. He's further ahead in many respects than Hillary Clinton is.
All right, now taking a look at Minnesota, you brought this up just a few moments ago. Minnesota's bucking the trend. They're not going so far for Clinton or for Trump. They seem to be looking more at Rubio and Sanders. Why is Minnesota so different than the rest of the nation tonight?
I would attribute it to the fact that it's a caucus system. In order to go to a caucus, you got to spend 1 or 2 hours at it. You got to be committed to your candidate. You're talking about people that are committed to being more moderate, more progressive. The Democrat, the Farm Labor Party there, it's always been a liberal party. So I was not surprised at all that Bernie Sanders did so well there. That didn't surprise me at all. On the other hand, I think the surprise of the night maybe, in fact, is that Rubio looks like he's well ahead there.
He is.
And I think that's a reflection of suburbanites that are educated and are looking for somebody other than Donald Trump.
And if you remember back to last year when Scott Walker dropped out of the presidential race, he called on his Republican counterparts to drop out to basically, go against Trump. Now Ted Cruz is saying the same thing. Who do you think is going to drop out from here on out?
That's a good question. It appears to me that Trump himself wants everybody else to get out of the race, and so he'd be the winner. A lot of the polls show that if it's a one against one person, for example, Cruz or Rubio, that Trump could lose. Okay, as long as there's Carson and Kasich still in the race, it's going to make it split up. And I don't see either Cruz or Rubio getting out of the race anytime soon.
All right. Hey, thank you very much, Joe, for joining us tonight.
Thank you.